Welcome back to the Padilla Family Homestead. We are back in the garden. I have my husband out here helping me make some supports. We'll get the supports ready because we have more high winds coming in this afternoon, and we have a break in the weather. So I'm going to turn the camera around to kind of show you what the plans are. All right, so these are our sweet peppers right here, and I got these stakes actually from Dollar General, and what we're gonna do is we're putting stakes on the four corners of the peppers, and then we're gonna put twine around them to offer support, but let them kind of lean on each other, and then have support around them. So what we're doing right now is to get them in the ground. My husband is using a mallet and hammering them in. Go ahead, honey. So he just hammers the stake in. It helps get through some of the harder ground underneath. That side is lower on the ground than that side, so we do want it to be a little lower. That's probably good. And then we're going to put the next stake in and do the same thing. Next step is to tie this twine on, and I got this twine from, it's like a tomato twine, and I got it off of Amazon. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here a little lower, and just double knot it, and then wrap it around this one at kind of the same length. Can you hold this while I walk over to the other side of the bed? Or can you reach there and wrap it around? And do one loop around? Go ahead. That's fine. And then do the same thing here. And then wrap in here. And as these start to get heavier, because they are carrying a lot more peppers on them, then we will be able to, these will do more supporting. And when you're doing this, you want to make sure you don't go so tight that you're pulling these into each other, but you want them to have enough tightness that it's supporting. So I think that's all we're going to put up on this right now. It's not going to do a ton right now, but the stakes are in. We need to help the tomatoes over here, so I'm going to show you that. Okay, so we have tomatoes. We have 5 tomatoes on these big long stakes. I'm going to pull the camera up. They are 8-foot tall stakes, and the second one is much taller than the other ones. It's not going in correctly or deep enough. And then my tomatoes are already starting to fall over. I used some Velcro for the bottom, but I did want to use some of this twine for the next section, giving it room. And then I'll probably use the Velcro again because I have it. But all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, because I don't want this to stay down like that, and tie it up to the trellis, well, the pole. Now this tomato plant has a, like, I can't tell what's suckers and what's not right here. Like, things split out like crazy. So I'm probably going to tie this second section on too, and then we'll start trimming suckers on it. Anything else need to be tied up? This one does. So this one, honey, is the one I'm having a spider right there. Sorry, buddy. I don't care if you're out here eating bugs, but I need that pole. So there's a spider right there on this one, but this is the pole that I'm having the issue with. Now it is attached. You want me to unattach it? Okay. So right here we ended up having some camera problems and some project problems, but we got it handled. So basically we're removing out the 8-foot pole, and my husband takes one of the shorter wood stakes and hammers that in, creating a channel, kind of like pre-drilling for putting a screw in. But he did such a great job that we couldn't get it back out. So we finally got it out, put the 8-foot stake back in. And once that was in, I took the flat end of the stake and really patted the dirt back around it, creating some tension around the pole so it didn't fall over in the wind. And it did just fine through the storm. Okay, so those supports are up now on the sweet peppers. Again, this isn't going to be heavy support in massive wind because it is, the stems are pretty strong right now. And so this will give support though when the fruit starts to get super heavy on them. Over here, we do have watermelons popping up finally. We have one right there and a couple over in this area. So the tomatoes again are on the 8-foot stakes. We are tying up them to that. We have a couple of suckers going, but overall we are going to start pruning them. Which one?
Looks like a flower, but it's green.
That's Brussels sprouts.
What?
Those are little Brussels sprouts. They're actually doing better than I thought they were going to do. I thought they were going to like die a while ago.
Is that like basil next to it?
Yeah, so there's basil, which we need to trim to encourage it to go out. And I think it got damaged by hail. And same with the pineapple sage, I want it to go out. But on the tomatoes right here, we have 5 indeterminate tomatoes. That's why they have the huge poles. And then we have Roma, which is a determinate. It's only going to get so high, and it's only going to set so many flowers at the same time, so many fruits, so forth. So that one is in a tomato cage. We're not at the point yet where we're going to finish doing what we're doing to these arches, but things are starting to pop up, which is awesome. Look how big our beans got. They are huge. I know. This whole corner right here is all dragon tongue. What's your favorite?
Yep.
So we have dragon tongue, purples, and then tongues of fire. Over here, we ended up opting to do tomato cages for the tomatillos. We had one that got damaged. We'll see if it comes back or not. That got the little cage because we didn't have any more big cages. But this is what we're going to use for now for tomatillos. And then we just have to keep, here, I'm going to hand the camera to my husband. We have to keep popping these in so they're inside the cage because these things are growing really fast. Somebody told me, I said this on the live, that plants love lightning and it gives them energy. And I will tell you what, after all these lightning storms, we have a lot of growth. There's a caterpillar that was hanging. Shoot. Where are you, buddy? Did you fall on the ground? Is that what all the holes are, caterpillars? That's not going to make me happy. That leaf's just going away. Okay, so these are in here.
What are these weeds things?
Yeah, these are the asparagus.
These little stick things?
They are. So they come up, look right here. It looks like asparagus right here. And then it turns into a fern. And so they have to be the size of a pencil to be able to harvest them. So we have 2 rows of green and 2 rows of purple And the purple, I believe, turns green when you cook it. But like the stems down here are very dark purple when they first came up, and they're turning green in the sun. See right here, there's dark purple. This is totally super dark purple. This is actually one of the thicker ones.
That's weird. I never knew it was that thin.
So they'll get wispy and totally
I thought it was
burn
just
out.
weeds.
See that one right there? How it's really fern, almost like a Christmas tree looking.
Yeah.
That's what they're all gonna do, and then they'll get berries.
Berries.
And the berries have seeds in them, and they'll drop and produce more. So that's our asparagus. Sweet potatoes are doing good. We don't have anything in this side of the bed yet, and the potatoes have shot up like crazy. So these were seed potatoes, and these were from the kitchen. So this side does not look like it came up. And we lost one of the seed potatoes over there. But we're gonna have to mulch this still and do all kinds of stuff to this still. There's a lot coming, but it's kind of cool, huh?
Yeah, very cool.
These came up very purple at first because these are purple ones. So we are contending with weeds. There's a dragonfly. We are contending with weeds a lot, which we knew was going to happen. We didn't put any weed barrier down because we didn't have a huge section of, we didn't go super high. So we knew we were going to have to pull them. But we're right now just working on supports. The tomatoes really needed supports, and the peppers we're going to start needing supports. Hey honey, look at this. I don't know if you knew we got this pepper. This is a sriracha pepper.
Ooh.
To make sriracha. Oh, this one had damage on it. I'm going to cut it off. So we got those plants with the peppers in them. So that one had something bitten out of it. But yep. So we have lots of good stuff going on down here. Very excited. This bed's really weedy. This bed's really weedy. But it is important before the storms come, or after you've had storms, to make sure you're coming out and strapping up. And we didn't do it right away after some of the last wind. And that first tomato, as you could tell, like it was laying down, so it's growing up a different direction. It's not growing up the pole correctly. So the more we tie it up, the better, and we stay on top of that. So I'll be coming out here more frequently to do that. And yeah, we're thankful it's been, even though it's hot and humid, it's been cooler than it normally is. So I'm crossing my fingers these root vegetables and greens actually do something for me. We'll see, but they're all growing. They're doing what they need to do. So carrots actually sprouted. I was kind of nervous because after the tornado, there were full-on branches like dug into the dirt in here. So I had to like pull them out. But it seems like things are...
Well, that's because we're in like a very woodsy looking area.
Yes.
So it's expected.
Yep. So the next project in the garden, I'll show you what that's gonna be. So over here, which I have to clean up all my pots from planting, we are going to weed whack this area and put in mint and let it take over. So the maples will stay, and I think everything else is coming out. So we're gonna weed whack, and then we'll hula hoe and get all the stuff out of here as best we can. Put the mint in and let it grow. So we're gonna do 2 varieties of mint here. And I think we're doing mint and lemon balm, another type of mint and lemon balm down underneath this tree. And then I think we've changed plans yet again on corn and pumpkins. So when we actually do that, I'll film that, but we keep changing our mind on it. So we haven't put them in, and we got to do that soon. So hopefully this next weekend we'll get to that. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on out here right now. Overall though, things are growing. We're supporting. I'm thankful my husband came out and helped me hammer some stuff in because I was really struggling with that. After tonight's weather that comes through and everything's pretty soft right now, but after it's a little softer, then I'll come through and really weed these beds that need to be weeded. And I'm hoping my husband can weed whack down the aisles so these things don't get huge on the sides. But other than that, we're just enjoying watching it grow. So I'm going to go ahead and, oh, hello, I don't think you're a good bug. I think you're a squash bug, actually. I'm not positive. It's a yellow ladybug looking thing. So I'm going to go ahead and thin some of this stuff out to encourage it to grow a little wider and spread out. I'll look in here and see what's actually edible. Some of this stuff got hit really hard by the storms. Some of it has bugs in it that I don't want to bring in the house. But that's kind of where I am now. But these are some support ideas for you. We were going to do the Florida weave, and we realized that the T-posts they have were not as tall as I thought. And so we didn't want to do that with the indeterminate. We wanted to give them more room to grow taller. I've used these before in wine barrels, so they worked really good for indeterminate tomatoes for me. So hopefully they'll keep working. We're gonna have fun stuff going on with the trellis for supports there, tomato cages, the stakes with the things weaved around them. Everybody kind of does their thing. It's going to see what works for you and what's best for you and your setup and your garden, and also what you can afford. That's another big portion of it. But keep things harvested, encourage them to grow the way they're supposed to grow, and have them wanting to keep producing. Plant's goal is to create flowers and create seed and procreate and then die. So you don't want things to flower, that you want to keep going all season long. Tomatoes, peppers, we want to harvest them when they're at the right phase, so that way they keep producing more, because then it didn't get to do its whole course. So I'm going to harvest, and we will see you back here on the next video.